You ever wake up to the sound of your dreams getting bulldozed by somebody with a badge and a personal vendetta? I sure did, and let me tell you, nothing will make you question your life choices quite like watching your dream cabin, the one you built with your own two hands, getting ripped apart at 7 a.m. on a Tuesday by a woman wielding a crowbar and an ego bigger than her mansion. Picture this: HOA President Vivian Blackwood, all 6 feet of suburban tyranny, hauling off my handcrafted barnwood shutters, heirlooms from my grandfather's Iowa farm, heaving them into a dumpster like yesterday's trash. The sound of that wood splintering, that was the sound of 3 generations of family pride getting chewed up by HOA aesthetic standards. And she knew I was watching. She stared right up at my security camera, snarled emergency safety violation, and started swinging a sledgehammer at my stone walkway. 3 months I spent laying that walkway. Gone in 20 minutes, $4,000's worth of custom stonework. Because my cabin was, and I quote, an eyesore. Yeah, that happened. But let me back up a sec. Name's Garrett Millwright, retired Navy engineer, 52 years old, and not exactly a fan of beige suburbia. After my wife Sarah passed from cancer, I cashed out my savings and moved to Whisper Wind Estates, Colorado, 2 acres, pine-scented air, and just enough quiet to heal. Sarah always said modern houses looked like overpriced dentists' offices, so I built a real log cabin, barnwood, from my granddad's land solar panels. For the sunrise rain barrels, for the storms, wildflowers everywhere, because why not? Took 18 months and every callus on my hands. It stood out. I'll admit that, like a Monet in a gallery full of copy-paste prints. At first, the neighborhood felt like paradise. 47 houses, a handful of retirees, a few young families, mostly friendly folks, living their lives. Until 2021, when the HOA formed. Enter Vivian Blackwood. The kind of woman who'd write up a violation for a lemonade stand, the human version of a pickled cucumber left too long in the jar. Her McMansion was 4,000 square feet of look at me. Manicured lawn, chemical green grass shrubs lined up with laser precision. She ran for HOA president unopposed. That should have been a red flag, but who wants to argue over mailbox heights and holiday lights, right? Wrong. Vivian had a passion for community visual harmony. She'd cruise the block in her white Lexus clipboard in hand, eyeing every mailbox and flower pot like a prison warden. First, I got a letter, architectural violation 2024-089, declaring my cabin a blight on property values and demanding I file a corrective action plan or pay a $500 fine. The list of complaints read like satire: rustic appearance, inconsistent with modern standards. I tried to reason with her, dug up my HOA documents, found the grandfather clause in black and white, sent her a polite email with all the legal proof. Her response: dead silence. 2 weeks later, a bigger fine, $750, and new charges for my excessive outdoor decor and wildflowers. That's when I realized this wasn't about property values. This was personal. Vivian escalated. She sent her so-called architectural consultant to inspect my property. Her nephew Brandon, a 20-something with a backwards cap and a tape measure that looked like a party favor. He claimed my cabin violated setback rules by 18 inches and handed me an invoice for $2,000 in emergency compliance fees. I just about lost it. Lucky for me, my neighbor Rex Cartwright, a retired surveyor, hands like driftwood coffee always in hand, showed up. Garrett, he said, that kid couldn't measure a shoebox. Rex broke out his professional gear and in 20 minutes proved my cabin was 4 feet inside the legal boundary. Turns out Brandon's measurements were as accurate as his resume. I filed a complaint with the state HOA board, attached Rex's survey, and started digging into Vivian's history. Turns out our President Blackwood had been booted from her last HOA for financial misconduct and bullying, professional neighborhood menace. Her next move: lawyer up. She sent me a cease and desist for harassment of an elected official, threatened to sue for defamation. That's when the neighborhood started to wake up. 8 neighbors called me to share their own Blackwood horror stories. Mrs. Luna fined for the wrong color roses, Tom cited for parking his work truck in his own driveway, the Patterson kids punished for a tire swing. Vivian's MO was clear attack, anyone with a shred of individuality. That's when Rex turned his garage into Resistance headquarters. Neighbors compared violation notices, built a paper trail. Vivian doubled down, sent her brother-in-law Larry, the family's insurance adjuster, to inspect my place. After a 10-minute walkthrough, Larry invented $5,000 in emergency remediation fees and declared my deck a fire hazard. Meanwhile, Marlene at the county clerk's office found something way juicier. Vivian's own house was an encyclopedia of violations, unpermitted pool illegal deck, at $18,000 in unpaid taxes. Her property was basically a shrine to everything she'd accused me of. So I hired Dr. Martinez, a real structural engineer, to inspect my cabin. While he ran tests, I sent an anonymous tip to the county about Vivian's pool. Rex organized a neighborhood meeting. Our attorney explained pre-existing structures were bulletproof, and the stories that came out made Stephen King's stuff look tame. Then County Inspector Jake Morrison showed up at Vivian's place with a camera. She tried every excuse, blamed the old owner, called it harassment, even tried bribing the inspector with $1,000 in cash. You ever hear handcuffs click in the suburbs? It's a beautiful sound. Vivian was booked for attempted bribery, her mugshot all over the news. My cabin Martinez's report called it flawless. But Vivian wasn't done. Out on bail, she sent an emergency landscaping crew to my property, supposedly to trim trees near power lines. I watched on my cameras as they accidentally snipped my solar panels. Called 911 cops, caught the whole crew red-handed, arrested for vandalism, receipts traced straight back to Vivian. While cleaning up the mess, I stumbled onto a water damage folder, the original county environmental impact assessment for Whisper Wind Estates. Page 47. Our entire neighborhood was built on a sealed landfill. That chemical smell, not lawn fertilizer, methane gas from 30 feet down. Vivian's pool was right on the most contaminated soil, and her digging had punctured the containment. I called Marlene again. Turns out Vivian had ignored all environmental reporting requirements. Her pool had triggered automatic monitoring she'd never done. Soil contamination exceeded EPA limits by 400%. Her McMansion was poisoning the whole neighborhood. We got the EPA involved, brought in Dr. Cross from the university. Her readings set off every alarm. County hazmat teams cordoned off Vivian's property. Federal agents moved in, and the news cameras showed up just in time for her meltdown. Vivian returned home, saw the warning signs, and nearly exploded. She tried to blame me, but I just pointed at the paperwork. She did this, not me. Now here's where karma goes from poetic to downright hilarious. Environmental law trumps HOA rules every time. The county designated Vivian's mansion as the emergency waste collection site for the entire neighborhood. That's right, the same woman who called my cabin an eyesore now owned the official dump. Legally, she had to host waste trucks twice a week and pay for the privilege almost $500 a month. The neighbors loved it. Petition signed, county hearing, packed news crews filming Vivian in an orange jumpsuit, screaming about conspiracy as the judge slammed the gavel. Dr. Cross's final report read like a horror story: methane benzene contamination so bad the EPA listed the property as a Superfund candidate. By the next week, garbage trucks rolled into Vivian's driveway, dumpsters lined up where her luxury cars once parked, and Rex toasted the moment with a cold beer. The neighborhood's property values soared. The HOA collapsed, and we became a model for environmental justice. Rex started a group defending property owners from abusive HOAs. Tom's hardware store became a hub for environmental supplies. Marlene wrote the toughest HOA accountability laws in the state, and Dr. Cross opened a research institute on site. As for Vivian, She served time for environmental crimes, banned from all HOA rolls, now picking up trash at her own former mansion turned neighborhood dump. My cabin still stands just as Sarah and I planned. Solar panels, wildflowers, a bronze plaque out front, Sarah's dream, sustainability, beauty, love. Every Tuesday and Friday I drink my coffee, watch the garbage trucks back up to Vivian's old palace, and think, yeah, that's justice with a sense of humor. So what would you have done if someone tried to smash your dreams in the name of aesthetics, ever tangled with a power-mad HOA? Drop your wildest story in the comments. Let's see who's got the craziest neighborhood nightmare. Don't forget to subscribe, share your thoughts, and hit that bell for the next showdown. Because if there's one thing I've learned, it's that karma always has room for another story. And sometimes the best view in the world is from your own porch, watching justice get picked up with the trash.